Hello world and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are doing a pick a card reading for what do people value about you. So we're going to look through somebody else's lens. We're going to see what you're kind of projecting, see if that kind of meshes with how you think you're projecting things, or we'll go from there. And with the pick a card reading, we get to pick the card, the number, the object. Maybe it's the timestamp down below in the description that catches your eye. You use your intuition to make your choice, and then I meet you at your reading. Use that timestamp again down in the description, and I will use my intuition to read the cards for you. So since we're talking about choices, let's get to these choices. For group number 1, this is the smallest, it's small but mighty deck. It is a cat themed deck, fantasy feline tarot deck. It is very much kind of like cards like Magic the Gathering cards or Pokemon cards. It was developed with that in mind. Very cute. And cats, and the object that goes with it is this hematite heart. For group number 2, this is Tarot of the Divine. This is inspired by deities, folklore, fairy tale from around the world. So there's a bunch of different fairy tales and folklores. And the object that goes with it is this Tigerseye. It's blue Tigerseye. For group number 3, this is a very feminine deck and it's very colorful, even though the back of it is just pure white. And the object, it is mystical moments and very surrealistic. And we'll do a surrealistic Peridot heart for group number 3. And for group number 4, this is just a fun kind of vintagey cartoon deck. Mystical Medleys, I believe, is the name of this one. It's one of my favorite decks, actually. It reads very, very well. And the object that goes with it is Goldstone. And actually, what's funny is this is probably the most traditional deck that I have out here. So if you like traditional stuff, this is probably depicts things the most traditional way out of the decks that I have here today. So if you're still not sure which group number object deck you want to go with, we'll go ahead and do a breathing exercise. I'll ask you to go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Okay, we're going to set the intention that you get the messages that you need to receive. Take another deep breath in and exhale. All right, just be here in this moment and go ahead and open your eyes, and wherever your eyes are drawn, that is the group for you. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will meet you at your reading. Hello, group number 1, our hematite cats. Let's go ahead and start slinging some cards. I'm just going to get like a focal point out here. This one wants to come out. Ooh, we got focus. Very pretty, number 14, waxing gibbous, and then we'll get some cards here. What do people value about you? Why are you a valuable person to have around? What do people value about you? What card? Come on. I know you, yeah, I was like, I know it wants to be out there. A lot of beautiful, fresh energy, which is, this focus card, I don't think it's meant to necessarily, in the book, be related to refreshing, but it has a very refreshing energy, and so does the Ace of Wands, an energy of action and new action. And it comes after a period of holding yourself back, of rest, maybe a period of transition. I think that there are people around you who see like your potential where you don't necessarily see your potential yourself. The Eight of Swords would indicate that you're kind of your own worst enemy. And I'll just hold up these cards so you can see what they look like and see what they say. The world, so the world represents completion, fulfillment, harmony, joy, reward, and success. This one kind of came out to where it was reversed. And when reversed, it represents emptiness, incomplete, and lack of closure. When it comes out with the Eight of Swords, it's kind of like that focused on the past, that there's something holding you back. But the only thing that's holding you back is like there are no actual restraints around you when we've got this Eight of Swords. It's just your own thinking. I think that your thinking hasn't quite caught up with your circumstance. You might have also some very intrusive thoughts that we need to work on and we need to reject. And the reason I say that is when we had the World that kind of came out as like, I don't know if we're quite done with this phase. And then the Eight of Swords comes out. Eight of Swords represents an entrapment, imprisonment, restriction, and self-victimization. Eight of Swords, I used to train horses. I used to ride horses. And one of the things that you would do with a horse it's called a ground tie. You just take the horse, it has the halter, it has the lead, and then you just like drop the lead on the ground and you tell the horse to stay and it just stays there. Very well trained, very nice, very good horses do this. But the world and our lives train us. So is there something that has trained you in a certain way or a certain realm of thinking that it's time to release? At any moment, my horse could walk away. I'm not going to stop it. And when I'm a little girl, when I'm like 8 years old out there walking around with a horse, that horse could jump off and run off with it. There's nothing, I'm not stopping it. And it's the same way here. Nothing is stopping you. The only thing that is stopping you is your own belief that that lead is tied to something, your own limiting beliefs. I'll give you an example of a limiting belief. In the way that the world programs us, and that where we, wherever you're from, sometimes in houses. Where I'm from, in my family and the people around me, like, everybody wants a ranch house, a sprawling ranch, one level house. That's not always the way in other places. And in fact, like when we're looking at houses, my husband and I, or places to live, the trend in housing is to have like that master bedroom on the main level master. Like that's a selling point, or a primary bedroom. On the main level. That's a selling point. That's the thing with architecture right now. It's the thing with new houses. They want you to do that because it's nice. You don't have to walk upstairs. It's all in one spot, all of that. But my husband and his way of thinking and where he's from absolutely hates that. He won't look at a house like that. And it finally dawned on me, like, why? And it's because of his childhood, and his grandparents lived in he came from Chicago. His grandparents lived on the south side of Chicago in a very bad neighborhood. And there was nobody on the first floor because, seriously, the first floor of his grandparents' apartment would get shot up. Now I'm in a very different situation, and so is he. But until we unwrap, and realize that, we don't know that that's something like, oh, okay, that's why I'm thinking that this house is garbage, because I'm feeling like there's danger in that house the way that it's designed. Why? Because of my trauma in my childhood. And we all have things like that. We all have trauma in childhood. So there's things. And it's crazy how many things go back to our childhood, just something that somebody said. One thing that I'm struggling with my daughter right now, she is in the 3rd, 4th grade. When I was at that age, when a boy would come up and hit you, the first thing that teachers would say is, oh, he must like you. And how many times did we internalize that and put up with so much garbage and crap from people who, and I get it, like he probably does, but he needs to figure out a way to express his feelings in the right way, and a girl doesn't need to accept that. So there are some limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Now, as this relates to the way that people value you, some of these things that are holding you back, I think that other people may see you as having humility, because they think that you are like way greater than you yourself think. And a lot of times that comes off as like, oh, well, you're not egotistical, you're not boasting, you know, but they see like a greater value in you than you see in yourself. And it doesn't necessarily mean that once you recognize your true self and you recognize your gifts that you're going to be egotistical or value. But it's a breath of fresh air, and we're ready for that breath of fresh air. We're ready to release some things that are holding us back. I think that, you know, your friends or people around you, when they see you, like they genuinely can tell you happy things about themselves, because they're not going to get the jealousy from you. They get like your honest opinion from you. You're not somebody who's jealous of others. You might compare yourself to others, but you do it in your mind, and you keep that kind of to yourself. But I do feel like there are people who value you because they feel like they can tell you things, because you're approachable. And I feel like sometimes when we hold ourselves back, we become approachable, and sometimes we hold ourselves back because we don't want to be that boastful person. We don't want to be that jealous person, but you can have your cake and eat it too. So that's the message that's coming across here. We'll get to focus here in a moment. Oh, by the way, the Eight of Swords, when it's in reverse, it represents freedom, releasing negative thoughts, and self-acceptance. When I find that just speaking about this Eight of Swords, and when we talk about things that hold us back, that it's easier for us to highlight those things, put a spotlight on it, put a focus on it, and release and let go. I love the focus card as well, because it's almost like we're in a drop of water. It's like release, flow, focus. I also feel like you're somebody who, when you want something, you go out and get it. Ace of Wands. Wands is a card of action. Knight of Pentacles is a card of action too, but it is one of those that's like, I'm playing the long game. I am here to stay. You're one of those people who's very dependable, and people, again, value that you're around and there for them. Knight of Pentacles represents efficiency, hard work, improving prosperity, and responsibility. Knight of Pentacles is somebody who you absolutely want to employ. I feel like you're valued at work, but some people may be taking advantage of you. Sometimes when your boss values you, it's because they can use you. So that's the only thing that I'm concerned about here when we've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords, because you may not be even open your eyes to them taking your ideas and kind of like putting you up. Like, you may be okay with them putting you in a spot and just leaving you there. Now, sometimes you're fine with that because you don't want to take on any more responsibility. You've got stuff going on at home. You just want to do your job and get out of there, and that's fine. But if you feel like you're in a rut where you work and you wanted to do something else, it might be because you're intentionally have kind of put yourself in that position, kind of like that you're so valuable in your position, like nobody else knows how to do your job. Well, if nobody else knows how to do your job, then you can't yourself move up. So I'm just like, for some of you, you're just fine, you're happy with that, you're like, whatever, I'm just here for the paycheck, and I'm happy that I'm valued at my job, and this is a stable job. Knight of Pentacles values stability. This is a stable job, that's fine. I get my, what feeds my soul or rewards my soul with my family outside of work. I don't even want to think about it. I want to set it on autopilot. Perfect. But if you're like, hey, I just feel like I'm bouncing up against a wall, I'm not progressing, why is that? And I think that, are you holding yourself back? Are you, again, like hoarding your job or not letting people know what else to do? And that comes kind of, the Eight of Swords can kind of be in a state of lack. Knight of Pentacles, so responsible person. People, when they make mistakes, they want to come talk to you because you can help them kind of see that larger picture and help them focus on what it is that they need to focus on. When reversed, it represents self-discipline, obsessiveness, and perfectionism. So those might be some kind of things here. I feel like perfectionism can be a great quality when we know how to use it, but it can also be something that holds us back. Sometimes we are so perfectionist that we don't even progress. We have this great idea, we know what we want to do in our minds, and we never progress past that, because once we start to focus on it, once we start putting some energy in it, some of the possibilities fly out the window. For instance, if you want to redo your bathroom and you have this idea in your head that it's going to be the perfect bathroom, well, once you start picking tile, once you start picking countertops, those other beautiful options go away. So sometimes this perfectionism can kind of hold us back from action, but we have the Ace of Wands here, which is talking about creating some action. It represents a beginning, a career, like a new career situation. So hopefully like our discussion here has helped you get some confidence to move forward. I also see like the Wands as very much in confidence, because it's in action. It's time to move. It's time to do something. And Ace is again that beginning. We create something. We desire something. Enterprise and travel. So this can talk about also like your love of travel. When reversed, it represents boredom, delays, distractions, lack of energy, and passion. So I just feel like there's a lot of really great energy here and reasons why people really value you. So let's talk about this focus. This focus talks about kind of like, I'm seeing Tiger Woods in my mind here. I don't care about what's going on in golf. Tiger Woods to me is like the greatest golfer ever, and always will be. But part of, I've always grown up with Tiger Woods as being that amazing golfer, but he's got that laser focus. He's one of those people who don't choke. Like in Michael Jordan, like in a time of crisis, in a time of need, like you're going to put the ball in their hands, because they're the people who cut out all the clutter, and it's like nothing matters but me, nothing matters but this moment, nothing matters but this project, nothing matters but my team, and we're going to focus on it. There is a mantra that goes with this. It says, I have laser-like focus that serves me well. And, focus just talks about, sometimes we lose focus. I feel like these kind of cards over here are talking about the possibility of losing focus, especially when you feel like you're this Eight of Swords energy and you're overthinking things, and you're kind of like in your own little bubble. But there's a difference here. Like this is an own little bubble of entrapment. This is your own little bubble of like, I am only going to concern myself with what concerns me. And I kind of feel like the Eight of Swords is one of those things where you're watching the news and you just feel like overwhelmed. Oh, this thing is going on in Korea, this thing is going on in Japan, this thing is going on in China, this thing is going on in Russia, this thing is going on in the Middle East. And it is this entrapment of helplessness, and it's like, do I even matter? And yes, you do. And I almost feel like these cards are here to remind us that people, like, you're a valuable person. You're a value to society. No, you can't fix a conflict in Russia, but I mean, who can? Like, there's just so many people who have their hands in it, and that's not your job anyway. It's time to come back to you, and that's where you're going to find your success and happiness and focus, and that is where you're going to find people who really appreciate who you are. You must focus on the task at hand right now. There's no room for a scattergun approach. Put on those blinders and do not listen to gossip or negative people. If you make a mistake, it is your mistake to make. And mistakes are what help us grow. The masters in anything have made more mistakes than a beginner person has even tried. And it's time for you to go out and try something, okay? Trust yourself. Don't worry about mistakes. When we were talking about this Knight of Pentacles and this perfectionism, that would hold somebody back from even trying something, because they're so afraid and trapped that they don't want to make a mistake. But it's time to go do that. It's time to push forward. And those mistakes, they're just like, was it Einstein who talked about mistakes? Like, it's like, great, I'm happy for my mistakes because that's one more thing that I can cross off my list that I know isn't going to work. Great. So do not waste your focus. Do not split your attention into too many places. That's how you're going to succeed here. The other thing, like I just said, I just get like a very refreshing feeling, like people have this refreshing energy about you. And also, I do feel like you attract a lot of people to want to talk to you, to want to gossip with you. Sometimes it's very helpful for them to get things off of their chest, but this focus here, this is kind of like a boundary. Like, it's okay to do that, but don't internalize their garbage. Let them have that. Or, you know, be that wall that where they can bounce ideas off of, bounce things off of, great. But doesn't mean that you have to take on their garbage too. And I kind of feel like you're emerging here. You might be emerging empath. You might be emerging, I think you very much care about other people. And trust me, that is known, that is seen here, that you care about others. And what will be helpful for you so that you can personally move forward and succeed in the things that you have is putting up that boundary. Like, so you can say no. It's not a problem. Saying no is the first boundary that we can put up, and it's good for you. So that's what I have for you, Group 1. I hope that you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 2. So we've got our beautiful tiger eye. I love that. I think you're seeing the flash of it. Very nice. And our fairy tale book. Our fairy tale, not book, but deck. So let's get one of these and then we'll get 4 of those. And oh, I guess we're going to get 2 of these and then we'll get 4 of those or more. We have self-love and we have pleasure. So one thing that people value about you, I think, is physical beauty for sure. There is certainly a pleasure in viewing something beautiful. We get the Knight of Cups. You don't play with people's emotions. Oh, the Star. And we got the 7 of Coins. I don't think that you fully value yourself in the way that others value you. I don't think that you look in the mirror and you really see the beauty that others see. So while, yes, this is a reading about what people value about you, this is also like messages that you need to receive. And first and foremost, like I said, self-love comes out. And I think that also kind of explains why some of these other cards are reversed, like the Star card. One of the most beautiful cards in the deck. And we've got so much beauty going on here, but you don't see it. In and of that self, though, this kind of has the same vibe of that we started off with Group 1, where you don't have an ego about it. Like so many people, it kind of okay. I was very self-conscious about my nose growing up. Like, I just didn't like my nose. And I just never saw the beauty of myself with that nose. Like, it just... Anyway, so, like, one of my friends was like, well, you actually have, like, an amazing personality for a pretty girl, is what one of my friends said. And sometimes when somebody sees their own beauty or they're told that they're beautiful all the time, and in and of that self, that can come out and manifest very bad later when we do grow older. But anyway, when somebody just values you for the surface, I feel like sometimes we don't develop other things. We don't develop our sense of humor, maybe. We don't develop our intelligence. Like, nobody expects anything from you other than to have nice hair, kind of thing. So while I do think that you have an amazing physical beauty about you, and that you don't fully recognize, but other people do, that the the positive to that, or the plus side to that, is that there's a great depth about you. You're like, there's this deep thinking that goes on here, and a high intelligence. Self-love, radical self-love is necessary. Empowerment starts from the inside out. Do not compare yourself to others. Start your change with focus on self-love. There's nobody else like you in the world. You are your own person. There's an affirmation that goes with this card. It says, every day I bring radical self-love to body, mind, and spirit. If there's something that you want to change about yourself, that's fine. If you want to change something about yourself, that's great. But the quickest way to change is to love yourself for who you are, and then start to evolve that. Then we've got pleasure. And this says waxing crescent and waning gibbous, by the way, which are phases of the moon. Pleasure is, are you taking life too intensively or too seriously? The time has come to call in pleasure to your life. Seek lightheartedness at this time. Focus on what would make you happy. Schedule in activities and find pleasure in yourself. So that's a reminder for you. But I also feel like you make other people feel really good about themselves. They love being around you. And I just feel like I just am feeling like that great sense of humor about you as well, that I hope you recognize. I think you're a lot of fun, and you're very funny, and you've got this great spirit that really infects other people, and that's what they like about you. Let's talk about this Knight of Cups, shall we? This is Halabu the Hunter. It's from Mongolia. It's a Mongolian legend. The Knight of Cups is a messenger. Halabu is kind and gentle, while also willing to take a stand for what he believes in. I think the reason this is in reverse is because you will take a stand for others, but maybe not always for yourself. So that's why I think this card is in reverse here. Let's continue on with Halabu and what he provides for his village, and after befriending a dragon, he willingly sacrifices himself to save everyone he loves, because this is a Cups card. The Knight of Cups is about love. The Knight of Cups is about giving. And I think that this came in reverse for you, especially when we have self-love, that the first person that you need to remember to give to is yourself. It's nice to think about like how other people value you and how people love you. It's nice to know that, but when you don't care because you love yourself so much and you are aware of the value you provide to others, that is priceless. And I feel like that the self-love and this Knight of Cups comes in reverse to remind you of that. Interesting that how the Knight of Cups talked about a dragon, and now we get a card that has a dragon on it with the King of Cups. The Boy and the Dragon Pearl. This is out of China. The King of Cups was once a little boy, but had matured into a powerful dragon. He is kind, but fiercely protected of those he loves. He is connected to the deep, dark waters of the subconscious, and he possesses a great patience and wisdom. He's devoted, loyal, the wisdom, generosity, all of those things. Again, I feel like it's in reverse here, because the reverse of this card talks about anxiety, lack of caring, control, violence, and imbalance. I'm not really seeing you as that with all these other cards here. Maybe you do have some anxiety that you need to release, probably about worry and concern from others, because I think you are very fiercely protective of others. I think that's something that that people value in you. But what I want you to think about, or want you to remember, is kind of treat yourself like you're one of your friends. And I feel like you would start treating yourself a little bit better. We have the Seven of Coins, which is next. This is a card about hard working. But on this card, it is out of Mexico. It's an Aztec mythology. Nanahutsen. And by the way, I'm going to slaughter these names. Sorry to anybody who is familiar with these fairy tales. The 7 of coins represents the desire for a good harvest. Though it might require sacrifice, Nanahutsen must determine when it is right to be patient and when it is better to scrap everything and start from scratch. The 7 of coins is one of those cards where you have put in the work and you're not afraid of work. You're good at, and you're probably somebody who's good at your job, but I bet that because you don't always put yourself first, like you're willing to put your boss first, your coworkers first, your work first, that sometimes they can hold these golden carrots out in front of you and you never really feel like you've completed something or accomplished something because there's these like, well, if you're in sales, if you sell $500 worth of stuff today, you'll get this. And then you sell like $495. Okay. Well, tomorrow, if you sell $1,000 worth of stuff, like they keep moving the bar. And even if you come close to it, there's no recognition. And I feel like sometimes we can be taken advantage of a little bit when we've got this 7 of coins. Remember that part about starting from scratch. We want that reward. You deserve that reward. So don't let people keep you in limbo where you're never getting that reward. I think that you, though, too, feel like sometimes the work is its own reward, and sometimes just being around other people is its own reward. And I also think that you're a very patient person, and that's amazing. But I also feel like it's time to push forward a little bit and demand the respect that you deserve. Perseverance. You can talk about decisions, investment, and fruition, seeing the fruits of your labor. And I also want you to make sure that you are invited to those types of discussions about the fruits of your labor. This kind of also has, that message kind of came up in group 1 as well, like they're being taken advantage of and their bosses might be taking some credit for their ideas. So just be aware of that could happen, especially when you don't fully, when you aren't investing in yourself first. Okay, group 2. Then we have the Star. This is a fairy tale out of Russia. This is Sister Alinaksha. And brother Ivan, we're going to say Ivan. We'll say Ali and Ivan. The star is a symbol of hope after disaster, the need to remain positive after misfortune. I almost feel like sometimes this might be in reverse because of kind of that toxic positivity when you're not fully taking advantage of your, or fully taking the temperature of what's going on around you. Anyway, the need to remain positive after misfortune, to remember that things can get better again. It is staying calm and open to future possibilities, seeing your situation with your eyes, mind, and heart. It means hope, serenity, inspiration, insight, and spirituality. I feel like you're blocking yourself from this right now, probably because of your lack of self-love. Like everything is coming back to this card. Remember how amazing and beautiful you are. I feel like this is a great representation of how you give to others, and it's time to give to yourself first. It's time to complete that cycle, and you will find how you can give so much more when you give to yourself first. Yes, crushed dreams, that's what it means in reverse. Insecurity, despair, dejection, exhaustion. And after it comes after the 7 of coins, I can understand being exhausted. It's because you are holding yourself back, my little loves, from not taking care of yourself first. So what I want you to do is think about where you can take care of yourself first. Are you getting enough water? When you wake up in the morning, are you eating within 20 minutes of when you wake up? Are you getting enough sleep? Like these, I know it sounds ridiculous. And I just had a conversation with one of my friends about this. One of my gaming friends, it was like late at night, and he was just really upset about it. I'm like, you know what? Just sleep. It's going to change. Everything is going to be way better in the morning, and it was. So that's what I have for you, group 2. I hope that you have an amazing day. I love you, so love yourself like you're one of your friends and put yourself first. And I feel like there's going to be just even more beautiful things around here for you, because I do feel like the people around you are seeing that they're benefiting it from you. But I also feel like you can attract people who want to take advantage of you and who will let you be in kind of like this perpetual work situation, because you are a patient person, because you do love people so much, because you are so willing to sacrifice yourself first. I feel like there's almost like a martyr thing going on here with you. Remember that, and you know, sometimes you just need to do something for yourself. Sometimes you just need to, you know, go and get that thing that you really, really wanted. You deserve it. So that's what I have for you, group 2. I hope that you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, group 3, and welcome to your reading of what people value about you. We've got this beautiful, I think it's Peridot heart, or lovely mystical deck. But I'm just going to pull out one of these cards first, and then I'll get the other cards, and then we'll start reading. We've got wisdom. I love this. Wisdom is wisdom. People value your opinion. They value your thought. You're a very intelligent person. You probably have like a blue collar type job. But not necessarily, you know what? I thought that, and then I was like, hey, some of the most intelligent people I know, oh wait, what was I saying? White collar type job. Some of the most intelligent people I know have blue collar type job. So you're definitely doing something right here. Look at these. So we got the 4 of Wands, 10 of Cups, the Lovers, and we've got Death reversed. You have so much stuff blooming inside of you. I love this Death card. This is like the last time I used this deck, the Death card came out. This is the most beautiful Death card. I feel like you're somebody who is like, you see things marching towards a certain point, like an inevitability, right? And you're like, nope, I'm gonna stand up and say no to that. I don't like the way things are going, and I don't care if it feels like this is an inevitable way. I don't care who's saying that it's going to happen that way. I'm not going to allow it. And I feel like that's why we've got our Death card reversed here. I think you can do it in a very intelligent way when we've got wisdom hanging out here. I love the books. I love you get 10 of Cups and the Lovers, and then with this wisdom card, you can see that she's in a boat. So I feel like your emotions, you're somebody who, you know, you have deep emotions, but I don't think you're necessarily emotional. You have like logic over emotions. And I feel like when people talk to you or seek advice from you, they'll get a very logical answer. They might come with you very emotionally, and you help them kind of reframe those emotions in a very logical way. You kind of tell them what their emotions mean and how to navigate those emotions. Wisdom is more than just mere knowledge. There may be something you aren't seeing and need to research more thoroughly. Wisdom is gathered, but it takes time. Learn from your experience. You might wish to ask the opinion of a wise mentor if you are uncertain. That's what it says about this card, but I almost feel like a lot of times you're the wise mentor, or you think that you're going to go ask a wise mentor something, and then you're like, you know what, that's what I was thinking. It just gives you validation for what you already think and what you already know. The affirmation that goes with this card is, I use my knowledge and experience to make wise decisions. I feel like you're somebody who does take time with the decision, who makes wise decisions. People are going to call on you when they have to make a decision, because you're going to see things in a different way than they would normally see them. We get the 4 of Wands over here. We start off with this card. Interesting that these two are 2 major arcana cards as well. 4 of Wands, I feel like If you're out of your clubbing phase, I think that you had a very beautiful and vivid clubbing phase. I'm seeing you dancing on tables, probably won't drink tequila because you've gotten sick off of it. That might be a very specific message for somebody. But Four of Wands is actually a card of stability. Fours are numbers of stability. If you think about our chair, it's got four legs that were sitting here, and it's stable. So you're somebody who like projects that stability. Like I feel like you're somebody who takes care of others, or you're just like that's again that stable force that somebody feels very confident and comfortable telling things to, asking opinions of, or giving you projects to handle. Four of Wands though is like, you're going to do things, but you're going to do it in a very fun way. It's also a celebration. You're not afraid to celebrate others for their success. I'm seeing like no jealousy here at all. I'm seeing like when people approach you with their things, like they're not afraid to tell you, because it's not like, because you're genuinely happy for other people when they accomplish something, because we've got this Ten of Cups here. Ten of Cups, like cups is a suit of, well, water, right? That's why they're in water. Love, emotions. Again, when I was talking about like navigating emotions, being aware of your emotions, when I was talking about wisdom, I was bringing the Ten of Cups into that. It's kind of like a little bit of mastery of your emotions. Why? Because you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot, and you've been through the rain, and you are enjoying this beautiful rainbow with the people you love. Ten of Cups is usually like a family. Like this is a merman, and she's not necessarily a mermaid, maybe a squid maid, I don't know. Beautiful nonetheless, with the school of fish, the baby fish all around. Like you're this happy, loving family type vibe. Of course we have things pop up. Of course we have things going on, but you're somebody who I kind of feel like you might be a mom or a dad. And when I was saying like you see things going in a certain way, but it's because of the people that you love. You're not afraid to stand up and go, no, we're gonna, this is it. Or buck stops here. I'm not gonna allow things to progress anymore in a negative way. Whew, sorry, group 3, had to go get some water. All right, we have then our lovers. So these two are major arcana cards. They're major energies. The lovers is ruled by Gemini. It is about communication. When I see the Ten of Cups and the lovers, I'm seeing somebody who has like an amazing relationships. Maybe not necessarily with a significant other, although usually it's that, but with amazing relationships with the people that they love. You're not afraid to tell people that you love them and how much you care about them, and show them in ways other than, of course, telling them, because you communicate, but communication is more than just verbal. There's a lot of nonverbal cues, and some people have different love languages. I think you're somebody who would invest in figuring out everybody else's love language and showing them the way that you love them in the way that they understand. It is this, I also feel like the lovers is kind of like an evolution. It's kind of like there's certain situations where you are bigger than yourself. And what I mean by that is Beyonce, Sasha Fierce. Sasha Fierce is Beyonce's alter ego, and she's actually a very kind of shy type person. So you might be an introvert, but in certain situations you will act out, or you will step up when you need to, when you feel like it's necessary. And usually it's for other people that you act out and step up. Like when I was saying with this death card is where you're like, hey, you know what? The buck stops here. I'm the end all be all. I'm not allowing things to go on this way. I am stepping up, and I'm the one who's dictating the change. I'm not allowing the world to just make a change for me, because they think it's right, or that's the way things seem to be going. Like, I'm going to stop it. I'm making a change because I'm actually seeing, like, you're somebody who sees what would be a beneficial change versus just a change to make a change. And it's crazy how many people just want to make a change. I see that a lot with like, I almost see there's a wisdom here with you, kind of, well, wisdom, of course, but like, if you've ever had to work in a workplace and you've maybe been on the job for a little bit, and then somebody comes in and they're fresh out of college and they know everything and they want to do this and they want to do that. Or I worked in marketing for a long time, and there would just be like these creative types who weren't creative at all. And they would just be like, okay, we'll change this word and you know, put a comma here. And it was like, there's a little bit of ego in that, where they're forcing people to make changes just to make a change so they can feel like they put their stamp of approval or mark on it, where it's actually more valuable to be like, yeah, that's great, you know, good job, I'm glad you came up with that. And I feel like you're above it, so you're not like just, you know, eager and want to make changes just to make a change. I remember we had these comment cards, and we would get paid for ideas where we worked, and they would pay you $10 for an idea that would $10, $25, something like that, for an idea. Like, if they would implement an idea, and you know, it would be a good change, because, you know, the management understood that they're not seeing the full picture, that people have other things. And this one girl, like, her change was like, it wasn't even a huge building, but she said to increase productivity, we should put in an elevator. Like, and then she was mad that she didn't get paid for that idea. Okay, so, but you would be somebody who'd look at that and go, what? No. Like, you would say, okay, we're gonna organize things in this way, and I think it would be more beneficial. Like, you have actual information, or you put thought into things about what would be a good change, versus like, oh yeah, I understand this putting in an elevator would be completely, you know, cost thousands of dollars for no reason, because I can't walk myself up the stairs when I don't even need to go up the stairs every single day. And there's one set of stairs. Yeah, not gonna happen. Anyway, so I digress, but that's what I have for you, group 3. You know, lots of beautiful, fun energy here. Again, I just like feel like the wisdom really sets it off. And then I feel like you're somebody who has just really been there, done that. You have a lot of valuable life lessons that you make available to people around you who actively seek it. I don't think that you're somebody who like forces your opinion on people. Usually those people, you're like, they have really bad ideas. You have really great ideas, but I think that people seek you out for those ideas once they realize how much wisdom that you have. So that's what I have for you. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next reading. Last but certainly not least, group number 4 and our Goldstone. Welcome to your reading about what people value about you. And we'll get to these in a sec. I just want to get one of these cards, and we'll read everything all together today. So group number 4, what do people value about you? Ooh, discernment. So you're somebody who can really kind of see through the garbage and pick out what's good. I also feel like you're somebody who, like, I would take shopping, because you can tell when something is valuable or when something is just garbage. And what I mean by that is sometimes like a quality piece, something that's timeless and lasting, versus something that was not manufactured very well. And look at this, we get the High Priestess. So High Priestess, King of Swords, 4 of Cups, and we get the Ace of Cups reversed. I think you're harder on yourself than you need to be. You've got some very, very powerful cards here, but I also feel like when we've got the 4 of Cups and then the Ace of Cups reversed, that you're hard to impress, maybe. And maybe because like you have these great skills and gifts, especially when it comes to intuition. I would also even say that some people would probably think that you're psychic and you're just like, am I though? It just seems like that's the way things are going. Like that's just a lucky guess. I feel like you downplay yourself more than you really should. And I think that sometimes you are, I think that you're really cute when you get like a little mad or a little angry about things, and you just have no idea how incredibly powerful you are. This is waxing gibbous, discernment, take care in your choices now. I think you make amazing choices. You make very good choices. Sometimes you might question those, but I feel like you're somebody who mulls over choices and makes the best choices with the information that you receive. And I also feel like you are somebody who can kind of feel out, especially with the High Priestess here, you can kind of feel out like it's not quite clear. I just have a better vibe about this choice, or a better feeling about this choice than this seems like it's the good choice, but this one I have a better feeling about it. And I think that you do really well when you act like that, when you think like that, when you make those gut choices, when you have that gut feeling. So don't ignore your gut feelings, because you're really, really good at that. And people, they're like, wow, I feel like people are impressed with the kind of choices that you make, and sometimes you can't even fully tell them, which is kind of like, oh, I don't know why I made that choice. It's just, it was just the obvious thing. It was just the obvious choice. Like you feel like it's so easy to do what you do, but it's actually not. Look carefully and judge wisely. These are things that you have. You're a very good judge of, I think, other people, of character, of people that you place around you, of just situations and places that you go, and the vibes that you get. There may have been something difficult to see, something that has been obscured, but now it has been revealed to you. Examine it closely. You examine things closely, and you can kind of see behind the veil. That's what the High Priestess, there's like a veil there. You know more than you really should know. You have like kind of like this sixth sense. And I feel like, I just have like this you're very good with your intuition, you're very good with your vibes, you're very good with your psychic ability. I feel like you could also probably be a medium if you wanted to. You just need to open up to that. I feel like this Four of Cups is kind of like, these are like what's going on in the physical, and there's like kind of like this little like niggle in your mind, or this like tapping on your shoulder that's happening, and you are actively avoiding it. I feel like I feel like the Ace of Cups is kind of like you're holding back on that as well. So if you've ever thought about, you wanted to learn tarot yourself perhaps, or you felt like you're drawn to certain crystals, or you feel like you want to talk to the dead, I'm very specific here, I think you can do it. I feel like everybody has an amount of psychic ability, but I think that this is something where it is just a little more than others. It stands out a little bit more. There is a affirmation that goes along with this. It's, I take my time to be accurate and precise in my discernment. I think it's really important, to set intentions. I think when you set intentions and manifestations, that nothing can stop you, especially when we've got the High Priestess and the King of Swords here. The High Priestess, this is one, if not my favorite card, one of my favorite cards in the deck. I kind of feel like this discernment goes very, very well hand in hand with this High Priestess, because she's got her eyes closed, or something's here, and she's using her heart, she's using her intuition, she's using something deeper to make those decisions. The High Priestess usually has the moon on the card. It talks about using that intuition. It talks about seeing things that aren't seen. And when we think about at night, when all the only light that we have to guide us is the moon, then we have to make some decisions about our surroundings. We have to figure out, like on our path, we don't get to see everything clearly as we do in the daytime. So there's something else that needs to engage, or we need to trust in ourselves. And I feel like there's a great deal of trust that other people put on you, and that you need to trust in yourself. We get the King of Swords out here. This is somebody who's decisive. So again, with the decisions, this decisiveness, but it's also some logic and thinking. So it's interesting that we've got like the juxtaposition of where I'm talking so much about using your intuition, so much about that gut feeling, and seeing those feelings, but you don't let those feelings rule. You're actually ruling with your mind. You're making decisions with your mind. You are allowing, you're taking decisive action. You're allowing thoughts, like great healthy thoughts to come through, instead of sometimes when we're ruled by our emotions, like we get some very, very negative thoughts. But the King of Swords has been through it. The King of Swords is somebody who just is like very much is in control of their thoughts, very much in control of their actions, very much in control of ideas. I think you're an idea person as well. And sometimes, it just all of a sudden you have this clash of inspiration. I feel like you get a lot of very inspiring ideas, again, because there's some knowledge that you have, like there's a hidden knowledge. I also feel like you whatever walk of life that you're in, whatever industry that you're in, like you hold the key to it. Like you have like the knowledge, maybe lost knowledge. Other people haven't gotten to your station. They haven't gone through the things that you've gone through, or you have learned things way quicker. There's some knowledge, some information that you have that's very valuable to people around you that they just don't have. You have it. Okay, Four of Cups. So you are a stable person. You're a stable force. You might be a little bit of a curmudgeon sometimes when people talk to you. And again, I almost think like you're a cute curmudgeon. Like, I think that it's kind of fun, like maybe in office, like maybe you're grumpy and people have fun with it, and you kind of have fun with it as well. And I'm just seeing that with this little guy here. What is he? A bush, I think. And he's got his arms crossed, and sometimes he's just grumpy to be grumpy, like, and we've got this cloud, like, hey, I'm tapping you on the shoulder. Let's move past what you're grumpy about. I do feel like sometimes you might hold some grudges, and you might hold on to things longer than you really need to. You do. But sometimes it's just like, I'm going to be a little petty here, and that's okay. Or maybe a little passive aggressive that you are at work. But you're not going anywhere, and people know who you are, and that's just like one little fun thing with your personality. And then we've got the Ace of Cups, and we have got it reversed, and I kind of feel like sometimes you hold back. You hold back on who you really are. I do feel like you hold your emotions back. I feel like you value your logic more than your emotions. Like, even though I was talking about your intuition, and your intuition is very much in seeing your emotions and tapping into your emotions and allowing your emotions to tell you something, you hold back on your emotions. You don't let them rule. I know people who mostly born in the sign of Cancer who are very emotional, like they just tear up over, like my mom, she just tears up about stuff, and I'm like, what? What the crap? What? Why? That makes no sense. And you would be like that too. That doesn't make sense. Like, why would that upset you? Why are you crying right now? Why do you have tears in your eyes? That doesn't even make sense. And because you're somebody who doesn't, it's not that you don't have emotions, it's just that you don't let the emotions rule, and you and again, it's not like you're holding back. It's just like you see the bigger picture, you have that bigger knowledge. Now, I know there are beautiful, loving Cancers out there who do so well with allowing their emotions to flow, but this is a little bit more restrained here, and you're like, nope, I'm not allowing it. I'm going to be logical and in control, but that's why people value you. So that's what I have for you, Group 4. I hope that you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading.